I got moving, right? If you've been enjoying this content, hit that follow button. Here on Twitch, hit that follow button. Make sure notifications are on so you know I'm going live. We do this 6 nights a week. We want you to be part of this, right? We want you to be part of this content. And guys, like if you don't make it a habit of being on All Black Everything to come through on this one, then you're just missing out. All right, it is what it is. X for social and chat for our social media. We have Twitter. Oh fuck, I can't even spell this shit. We got Twitter where we tweet. Discord, we do everything. Everything happens on Discord. Be a part of the conversation. Join our Discord. We'd love to have you. TikTok, where we check and we talk. And then YouTube, where you'll find the VODs, right? So like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Consider becoming a YouTube member, helping us that way, or like giving us a super chat or anything that can help out this community. All right. So thank you so much. We're gonna move on to our next topic. Okay. So, hashtag Free R. Kelly has been trending on social media. There is a growing movement to protect abusers online. Do you see this as a problem with the Black community? Do we have an unwarranted need to protect abusers just because they happen to be celebrities? Okay, so once again, our friend Fanatic was the one who came up with this. And so I'm wondering, Fanatic, if you can start us off with this, because I hadn't, I'm not on social media, and I didn't see this coming back up. So, like, could you help frame this for us, please?
Sure. I mean, I think it's just what it says. Like, Free R. Kelly has been trending. I don't understand where the freak that comes from, but it is. And people are literally requesting, like, there's a growing body of people who genuinely want to try to say that he's innocent. It's troubling to me. And I guess, yeah, for in a way, I do feel like there is a problem with like us doing this thing, right? Like R. Kelly was clearly like I can't say we all. Some people saw that tape. They saw what he did to that girl. I don't know why we would go into denial about this. I think the biggest problem I have is that it seems like because like while you have like the Cosby cases, right, where you can see like obvious examples of malpractice and things like that, that does not apply to R. Kelly. We know that dude did what he did. So then it's just for people to like kind of like stand for him in that way or ride for him and try to defend him. It just seems so malformed, like misplaced. I don't know. And they're genuinely defending him. It's not like this isn't just a meme. People genuinely believe that he should be free, and I don't know how to deal with that.
Okay, please. Thank you so much for that, Fanatic. Let's go to Bam.
There's obviously reason to protect predators, protect like people because they're celebrities, because they did offer, I guess, in some other facets of life, some good to the world for R. Kelly, it was music. For other celebrities, they offered, the things that they did. So people have problems looking past that and being able to basically like are able to forgive like really heinous things because of the things they see. But yeah, no, R. Kelly is a criminal, and I don't know. I have my issues with the idea of like prison, the way we deal with prison. I have issues with the idea of like punishment, but he shouldn't be free to like do that to other people.
Let's go to Waterkai.
I agree with Bam to a great degree, but I also can see the juxtaposition because when you look at people like Roman Polanski still winning awards, still being celebrated, it's like, well, if the double standard can be there and this man is free, why can't R. Kelly be free? I agree the man is a monster, but they're both monsters. But why does one get a pass and get awards and the other one gets thrown under the jail?
Let's to.
Oh, is that for me?
Yes, did you not hear me? I said smooth. Maybe I was too quiet.
Oh, my bad. Maybe it's just me. Okay, I want to say, look, I love all you guys. Just to offer up, I do want to start there, but I do want to say this, man. Like, that dude, this guy is the guy that went to your house, sat down, had dinner with you, no mask on, no nothing. He sat right across from you, okay, and then he robbed you. Like that's the level of identification you could do off that video. You literally know who the person was. and people want to defend him. I don't know how you do this. I don't know how this trends again. I don't know where this comes from. Is this a problem in the Black community? Yeah, because he did this to other Black people too. Like I'm all for like just getting him out of here. Like let's just keep him up out of here. But also let's refocus our energy and let's go after these other predators that are still, as you said, Waterkai, getting these awards and stuff. Like, no, I don't want energy to free him, like to get everything even. No, I want even by them being in jail too. Because if you're that sick, we need you in the jail or dead. That I'm that extreme.
Oh, I wasn't
That's
gonna
how I
go
feel about
dead,
that.
but cool.
Yeah, I'm with it.
I think that I'm going to take a little bit more moderate approach here because I feel sympathy for the position of people who want to free R. Kelly. Like I never grew up with his music. You know, he was never a big deal to me. We didn't play R. Kelly in the house. So, you know, R. Kelly, I can take him, I can leave him, I don't care. But, you know, there are people that, you know, I like that are like, you know, people don't like and they think are bad people. Like Prime and I were talking about Alex Jones. I'm an Alex Jones fan, so I can understand how people can you know, identify with somebody so much that they want to advocate for them even though they're clearly wrong on something and they want to be wrong and strong. So I understand that. And there are people who have the cognitive dissonance that, you know, even when they're faced with the truth or that they did something wrong, they're going to try every single mental gymnastics to try and get away from it. And that's sad, but you know, it's part of the truth when you have that parasocial relationship. So I can understand why they feel that way, but you know, obviously R. Kelly went through the process. We saw the proof, we saw the evidence. He's guilty. He needs to serve his time. And then when he's done serving his time, we can welcome him back and hopefully have some, you know, nice music ideas and inspiration to continue his career and then bounce back where he left off. That's what I'd hope for if I was a fan. So I think we should just have that in
mind. Gosh.
Yeah, I don't think that idol worship is an issue that's specific to the Black community. Fuck R. Kelly. He treated a underage girl like a piss cup, like a fucking drug test. I don't really fuck with that man. It's all right, but like white people be like on Donald Trump's dick, Charles Manson's fucking dick, like white people like fucking. I'm so sorry, Isle of Owls. Alex Jones's dick. Like they have a documentary about Roger Stone, bro. Like look, it's not something that's just a particularly Black issue. I think that idol worship is just like a fucking problem. I think it's some sort of weird type of escapism that needs to be addressed like in more of a material sense versus just be like, okay, Black people need to stop like dick riding weird niggas like R. Kelly or whatnot. It's universal for the country. I think it's like a problem just in our society. And I'm open to discussing issues, not issues, but like ways to resolve these issues with everybody tonight.
Okay, thanks.
Cool.
Let's go to Jesse Gammons.
Cool. Yeah, Bam, to answer, I'm not sure. So that's what I was gonna say. If you can send me some links, that'd be awesome. If it like specifically talked about 8 Hours people or like something that made us understand it. But onto this topic. Yeah, niggas that are defending R. Kelly is insane. And I'm actually in like a group text right now with niggas doing that. Like, so it's wild. But yeah, I never understand it. Like, I admit that there's a part of me that is like, you know, I do think the RICO charge thing was like insane. But there's a part of me that like, if you're a child predator, I almost don't care if injustice happens to you. And that's like a really bad place to be. So I think we should recognize our flaws. But yeah, I like the people that are like talking about like maybe there shouldn't have been a RICO charge. I can understand that. But the people that are talking about like this nigga didn't rape children, like they didn't watch the video when they was younger, it's mind blowing to me. And it's like I don't understand that type of cognitive dissonance. So yeah, people that defend R. Kelly are disgusting for sure.
Channel.
So I think that's where a lot of the problem comes in. I think because of the fact that one, they gave him RICO charges which were absolutely inappropriate, and it does seem like there's now coming out some types of prosecutorial misconduct. To me, it seems like that's what's kind of that's what's like spurring it, right? Because like there's plenty of people that I'm seeing that are saying stuff like, yeah, man, look, see, the prosecutors did this and something's not adding up. You see how fishy this is, and I can see because of the fact that we've had the media lie to us about OJ, we've had the media lie to us about Michael Jackson, we've had the media lie to us about Bill Cosby. So when we have all of these, like this is starting to become so normalized, right? That if it makes Black people just hyper reactive to any sort of misinformation or any sort of misconduct to immediately just want to defend the person. And I think that that's where the problem comes in.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, when people go it's bad, but like I don't care what happens to that nigga. Like that's the bad part. Like I do want justice to be served, but it's like, yo, they get that nigga on some bullshit. Like I'll complain about the criminal justice system, but I won't complain about him getting out, which is like really, like that's a really dark, bad place to be. But yeah.
But I think that's where the problem comes in. Is I think for me, man, it almost like if he would have got freed because the RICO charges were not appropriate, I don't think I would have been upset at that. Would I want him to go back? Yes. Do I think like that they would just they need to find another reason to get him? Sure. He's being tried right now in Chicago.
A fair case, yeah.
Yes, and that's fair. They should get him for that. And I think that there does come a problem where sometimes people get ahead of themselves and start really looking to subvert justice because they just they want to see somebody burn or whatever.
Exactly.
And I think that's problematic because I promise you, R. Kelly's not going to be the only person that's going to like bear that. There's going to be other cases where they misuse RICO charges to take down niggas. So anytime I see any injustice like that, it makes me nervous because I just know how they'll use that for Black folks.
I do want to
he's one of those people.
I a fanatic already knows I disagree with him. RICO charges thing. But you know what? Before I jump in, Smooth, you got something to say, and then I'll.
He was a sole proprietorship. Huh?
He was a sole proprietorship, Prime. That's what you're trying to say.
It's ridiculous. That's another. Don't worry.
Yeah, so I want to say, like to people that that watch this later, okay, Young Thug and Gunna are not a good example of RICO charges being used unfairly. Okay, like get them out your head. Sure. Them people, they killed teenagers, like kids, like that gang was doing some wild stuff.
It was a whole gang.
They were doing wild stuff. Like wild stuff.
One person is kind of different from the whole gang, though.
Right.
Oh yeah. I've never heard of one person getting well.
Prime is okay with it, but
no, you can't. No. I actually first of all, I did bring in examples where you did get one person getting RICO charges. It's not something that's unprecedented. I already did that previously, right? Like Fanatic, I showed you that. Remember last time?
I do. It was specifically a guy who was involved like in a whole political scheme in which he was doing things with a whole large amount of people, and he had like been bribing and doing things with a gang of people. But he had an entire political cabinet behind him in an elected position. So though that seemed like maybe RICO charges might have been more appropriate there for sure. I totally agree. That's not the R. Kelly situation.
But R. Kelly did have a gang behind him.
So then why was nobody else in his entourage?
Why weren't they all charged in the other one? The example I gave you, like it doesn't
probably roll.
You don't have to have group charges to do a RICO charge.
Wait. No, Waterkai asked a good question. In the case that you're talking about, did the defense or did the prosecutor use other individuals that could have been charged with immunity deals to testify against them? Because it's important to know, because if they were, then that's why other individuals weren't charged, because they rolled on him and were used against him in the case.
That's fair.
Whereas, as far as I know, I haven't followed the R. Kelly trial because, I just see blood and I'm like, whatever they do, that nigga, whatever. But I haven't followed his trial, but I don't think people have reported that there were people that rolled on him and were used by the prosecutor team with immunity deals. I don't think that exists. So if that does exist in the case that you showed, Fanatic,
I think there was actually. Yeah, I
But
think there was like one or two people that actually, but I don't know that they were people that would have been charged with like RICO charges, but they were just there were people that that worked with R. Kelly that were willing to testify and
Well,
stuff again.
yeah, testifying to avoid charges, I see is like different.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
there's all
Yeah.
kinds of reasons why a prosecutor would choose not to prosecute a person for any particular reason. Some of them could be like nefarious or like misconduct. Absolutely. We see that all the time when it comes to cops getting charged for killing people. But there could be a plenty of reasons why they decide not to charge these individuals. It could be cooperation. It could be that they feel like for this individual we don't have enough evidence. It could be a lack of resources. It could be a whole list of reasons. So just putting that out there. And you can have singular RICO charges. That's the thing that happens.
But typically you would think that if some guy is the headmaster to a organization, if they have enough, well, I mean, and maybe this isn't true, but conceptually, how I think about it is, if they have enough for that guy, they definitely have enough for the people he was directing, because that's implicit. That's implicit as a part of taking him down, to me. Right. And I could be wrong about that, but that's how I conceptualize
but
it.
Like I said, I don't know the reasons why they did make those decisions, right? I can't speculate in it. If I did, I'd just be lying to you as to like what the reasons were. I don't know, and none of us know. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is something that has to do with misconduct. It's a possibility. I can't say that it's not. But I just know that this case isn't singular. That something like this have happened before. So I don't know. Right? I'm not in their heads. But anyway, I want to get back to the topic at hand, which was like whether this is a specific problem in the Black community. And I don't. You guys were listing off examples of white community being with idols that they worship, and
Jerry Lee Lewis.
I was just about to say that.
Just say I win. Just say I was like, if you attack any of the people that said Elvis Presley, let's start there. Let's set the bar at
straight up groom Priscilla.
He fucked and married a 14-year-old girl.
Okay.
Yes, Elvis Presley.
Okay, sure.
Same age as the girl that R. Kelly had sex with.
Interesting.
Same.
Right.
Well, Ali was 15 when they got
music and dance moves and became a superstar that people still believe is alive and revered.
I actually heard that he actually tried to give Black people credit. I don't know if that's true. And that like
Whether
the organization is something
didn't.
that the organization that he was working for was like trying not to. But I don't know if that's true anyway. But yes, prime example of R. Kelly in the white community is Elvis Presley. Absolutely. His music is regarded. He fucked a 14-year-old. He married a 14-year-old. Elvis Presley.
So here's a perfect example. Like this is one of the things that I'm talking about. Look, this is just a tweet. I just decided to search Free R. Kelly. Someone tweeted this 4 hours ago. They're a sicko. It's a woman, by the way. Wow. She said, Lisa Van Allen is not a victim. She was 18, but went on TV and interviews lying, saying she was 17. She was kicked out of the 2008 trial for lying. She is nothing more but a liar, extortionist, and a thief, right? And I'm telling you, all these people need is just a tiny piece of misinformation or a tiny piece of somebody like evidence somebody's lying to just fully exonerate the man. And I think it's because we have so little faith in our criminal justice system, right? Because we have 1,300 exonerations of Black men a year in our prison system. It's like, okay, so y'all are willing to convict niggas that aren't whatever. And I think these people have so little faith in the system that they're even willing to defend, a circle like R. Kelly. And I see why people would defend the sickness that is Elvis Presley, or no one really defended Jared because he made people feel bad because he actually lost weight. Otherwise they'd be defending Jared Fogle.
So your argument is that it's warranted, not that you're saying that R. Kelly isn't innocent. I'm sorry, isn't guilty. You're saying though it's warranted because of how the justice system treated us in general. At the lies of prosecutors. I mean, we see the nonsense that prosecutors get up to. That like this is a natural reaction that you'll have these things like Free R. Kelly just keep popping up. That dude absolutely fucking did it.
Yep, I totally think that. Do you guys disagree? I mean, Well, what else do you think would motivate black people to be getting behind this sicko?
I don't. I mean, even more than the system, like even when we're not, people forgive things that, like heinous things that like aren't necessarily like criminal. There's still a big defense force for Chris Brown's behavior with Rihanna, and I'm not saying that situation is not complicated, but I'm saying that there's something inherent to celebrity that makes us want to forgive people. Because
Wait, people still listen to his music. I don't think people defend Chris Brown's actions, right?
Yeah,
I don't think there's not a big group of people that's like, yo, what he did was cool. Like it's cool that he.
A lot of people say, "Oh, Rihanna's toxic. Rihanna's crazy. She was asking for it." Like that's
no. Wait. But like, you think that's a large?
I didn't say it's a majority, but it's significant.
You think it's like less than 1%, right?
No, it's a super common conversation people have.
Yeah, but the R. Kelly thing is really different.
Stop hanging out.
I'm saying, this is anecdotal. It's impossible to prove or disprove. But like, if you bring up, so the Chris Brown Rihanna situation, like, but he was young, and honestly, Rihanna was crazy. I'm not saying he should have hit her.
I've never heard that.
You've never had that conversation. I mean, again, it's impossible to prove or disprove.
But, I mean, I've heard of those types of things, but I just disregarded it.
I heard it before the photos dropped, right? Like before the photos dropped, niggas. But when the photos dropped, niggas was like, "Yo, that nigga's wrong for that." Like, people that were like, "Yo, I'm still listening to his music because I'm separating the man from the art." Blah blah blah, over that. But I didn't hear things defending his actions. So I've never heard that.
Okay, that's great.
No, people. So Bam. I think it's not that people are defending his actions. Like when I've heard someone say that, it was like they were like, I can see how that happened. They were rationalizing it by saying that. They weren't saying like, oh, that's defensible. Like, oh, you should beat on women like that. Like, no,
I mean,
nobody said that or
you
said that it was justified. They were rationalizing it when saying that.
I'm saying excusing these types of behaviors. Like, it's the same thing. People, I've never met anyone that says that like it was a good thing that Elvis slept with a 14-year-old, but people will excuse the behavior. It's a different time. Like, like it was super normal, blah, blah, blah. Same thing with Jerry Lee Lewis.
It wasn't normal either. Niggas lie when they say that. It wasn't normal.
We're kind of comparing apples to an apple orchard. This dude had a full-on network of people that were setting him up with fresh bodies and keeping them in line, moving them back and forth.
I don't know that he had a network.
R. Kelly.
I heard he'd been doing this since he was like in Chicago, since he was like 20. Like they say he used to pull up to like middle school.
A McDonald's, he would show up. He had an entourage doing these things for him. It goes deeper than just one person luring people.
And I don't think it was targeted at like I mean, it's weird when you get into the differentiation. I don't know if R. Kelly was specifically a pedophile. Like I think R. Kelly was interested in. I think R. Kelly had a fixation on people who were manipulative.
Wait, don't do it.
Because he had a thing with like people in their early 20s too.
Like people that fuck
kids it's a weird
opportunistic. No, people that fuck kids are pedophiles. They're not just opportunistic.
Again, I'm saying you can make the distinction if you want to.
Okay, so I see what he's trying to do. I see what he's trying to do. And I don't think it's worth a distinction worth making. But you're saying that he's looking for vulnerable individuals, right?
Yeah, because he had like women in their 20s like hold up in rooms that they haven't left for like 2-3 years.
It's like when they talk about like Catholic priests, right? Like, and people say, well, Catholic priests, well, they're gay, which is why they were fucking boys. It's like, well, no, specifically, they were these predators. These, oh boy.
They were raping
One second, hold on. Let me get that sentence out, and then you guys can say your nonsense, right? What they're looking for, if you talk to these predators, they're looking for people who are vulnerable. It's because it's a crime of opportunity, right? So it's easier to get your hands on choir boys, right? They put those kids in your hands, and so that's the person you're going to target. They'll send you all to camp, right? They'll send like, oh, well, you guys can go off to some summer camp with these Catholic priests, right? Because we know we can trust these people, right? But you'll send your boys there, and you'll have men in charge, and that won't raise any eyebrows. It's not that they wouldn't have sex with little girls if they had that opportunity. It's just that boys are the ones that it's more easily accessible. That's just the way it is for lots of child predators.
Heterosexual men feel very strongly about being heterosexual. If a nigga is fucking little boys, he's gay. Period. That's the end of it. Like niggas opportunism and like dissecting all
we
that
already
doesn't
understand this.
override.
Oh no, come on. We already
Wait, for
understand
pedophilia,
this
the gender doesn't matter, man.
We don't have to down this hill. It's not. This is not the
No,
conversation. I was just making
these niggas are gay and pedophiles for sure, without a question.
Wow.
I think
Well,
he's
but what about the ones that were raping nuns? What about the ones that were raping nuns though? Because like that came out too.
They
that a
were
bunch of
straight.
nuns were getting raped. So I don't know. I don't know if we could just label all of them as gay, but we can just label them all as all the ones that were doing this as sickos.
Yes, predators, right? Yeah, exactly, right. And predators look for people who are vulnerable, which I think what Bam is trying to say, right? I think like you want to label them as pedophiles? Yes, absolutely. Go ahead. I'm not going to fight you on that one. But I think he was saying that for R. Kelly, that it seems like the trend in his eyes is that just looking for vulnerable individuals, and vulnerable individuals includes children, but it's not exclusive to children.
Yeah. So my problem is I hate when people do this. Oh my, it's disgusting to me. Like people can be pedophiles and also take advantage of other people. I don't like when people make this assumption that just because they took advantage of somebody that's also of age means that they also didn't have sexual attraction to minors. And like that's the part that like boggles my mind with people on the left. Like, yes, that nigga can be a pedophile and also take advantage of other people. And like it's wild to me when niggas like act like pedophiles, not pedophiles.
Do you think that's like pedophile? First of all, the easiest, funniest thing in the world to do is to like hate pedophiles. But I'm saying that like, do you think that like someone making that distinction is like apologetic? Like it's like apologia, saying this like, oh, it's probably complex.
I don't call it apologia. I don't know what I call it. I call it discussion. I don't know. There's no like I think people want to feel like the world is less bad than it is, and this maybe I should call it cope. That's what it is. It's cope. That's what it is. Niggas don't want to grapple with. There's actually sick fucks that like have sex with kids, and they do that because they're sexually attracted to them.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know how there's a thing on the left that people don't want to. I
don't see this. I don't see this
because your friends literally go out of their way to start trying to like distinguish pedophiles from like offenders and like, oh no, like it was articles on the left that were sitting there talking about I'm a pedophile, I'm not a monster, I'm just a pedophile, stuff like that. Your friends be doing on that nonsense, Prime. That's why. Like that's
is that what you're saying? Like people
fanatic. Like I feel like this is.
I'm saying that. I'm saying that when people touch kids, they're a pedophile. And I feel like a lot of my friends, I don't see this in literally any of my friends on the right. But my friends on the left, they try to say, wait, we should try to dissect this. Did this person want them because they're a child, or were they just being opportunists? That entire conversation only exists on the left.
So I don't know. I think maybe what Fanatic and GSU are saying are different. All right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys are saying the same thing. But
GSU, what do you think the reason for that is?
Hold on, before we do that, and I'd love for you to jump in. But if you're like, I think there was a difference between a person who is attracted to children, right, and simply that, and then a person who molests a child, right? Those two things overlap, but are not the same, right? Are not synonyms. So you can be a person who's attracted to a child and then never offends, right? And then, okay.
Sure.
So the discourse that I have heard,
but you're still a pedophile.
So if you're pedophile means a person who is attracted to children, right? But in our colloquial sense, we use that, well, not just for like children, people who are prepubescent. We also use that for people who are like 17. We call people who have sex with them pedophiles too, which is incorrect, but whatever.
It is now. It wasn't always. We didn't have like hebephile and all those things.
You're exactly right. But like, I'm saying that when we use that term, right, we usually mean to say offender. So if people are trying to make that distinction, it's simply they're like, okay, well, there are some people who are child attracted. So yes, pedophile, absolutely right. But who don't offend. And when you put them all under that label, right, people are like, okay, oh, if someone admits that they're child attracted, like, okay, well, this is a person who is a danger to the community. It's like, well, no, I have, like, not me.
Well, they haven't actually touched
anyone or and never plan to do so, right? They never plan to act on there and never will, right? Most people who
No,
are,
but there's still a danger.
You don't think
There's
it's fun
danger.
to make
That's
the
still,
bend. It's more
I
easy
mean,
to just
that's
like
still a danger,
you
right?
hate them too.
Like you
Yeah.
can say so we can all agree with the concept that there are offending pedophiles and non-offending pedophiles.
Mhm.
For sure. I'm out, like that just makes sense, right? But it is true that even people who are non-offending pedophiles are dangerous.
Are they?
Yes. What?
Absolutely.
So let's
Would you
talk
leave
about
your-
it, right?
leave your
Yeah,
kid
yeah.
around a non-offending pedophile.
We're about to
some
get
people
really
do.
far off.
Some
No,
people
no.
do.
So no. Here, let me explain why, right? Because like in the same sense, like when you start talking about like the Catholic Church, these people, like the men of the cloth, in this case, like they're going and they're doing their job. Their job is supposed to be like free from sex and all those kind of things. That's a thing that they forbid them from marrying and all that stuff, right? So then, of course, any kind of sexual encounters they'd have would be fornication. So then it makes sense, like why these people are doing this nonsense, because you're like literally trapping them, basically saying that they can't have these sexual relationships, and then of course now they're like being exposed to all this nonsense, right? Like the thing is the idea, it's the same thing as like trying to put crazy restriction of just abstinence only on children. We all know that won't work, right? Like after like they get to a certain age where they start having access, children are going to start like not young children, but like, you know, people like in high school and stuff, they're going to start if they have opportunities, they're going to find ways of having sex. Same thing is going to happen in
Right.
college. You're not
Thank
going
you,
to
Fanatic.
scarlet letters aren't just going to work, and you're not going to be able to convince people to just completely avoid sex, right? So then if that's the case,
Absolutely.
then, right. So then if that's the case, then it makes all the sense in the world why you would say that, if this person is an actual pedophile, then it's likely that even if they're trying all that they can to resist these feelings and whatnot, that they have a higher inclination to go ahead and do this. And if I ever leave my child unattended, I could scar my kid for life. I'd rather my kid just not have the relationship with the pedophile than to have the potential risk of my kid being damaged for life.
Okay,
That
we
just-
have
it
to
seems
draw
reasonable.
more distinctions here, because I hear what you're saying, but we have to draw more distinctions in this conversation to make it more accurate. Before I do that, though, I think other people are trying to jump in, but I want to draw those distinctions and actually have a deeper conversation on this.
Oh,
Someone else want to jump in?
I want to thank Fanatic for admitting that religious repression is causing an issue with the upbringing of people.
Oh, I've been said that. What?
I never heard you say it before, but I'm really appreciating it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think that's even up for debate. Of course, like religious oppression can cause that. What?
Okay.
So glad to
Did
hear
you say
that.
suppression or oppression?
Repression.
Repression. Okay. I thought-
Taj, you wanted to jump in?
he's still on topic one.
Yeah,
He'll be
I
here in a
think
sec.
Yeah, I think that we kind of like segued out of like what I was going to talk about.
don't
But the
matter.
reason
Go there
why
anyway.
I just want to point out, yeah, sure. I think the reason why people talk about pedophilia versus like people that like commit like child sex offenses, like that distinguishes that way of distinguishing that's important, right? In
It's
order to
absolutely
like
real.
combat pedophilia, we should probably like, in order to combat like pedophilia, like attraction to minors, we should probably like find a way to destigmatize it to a certain level. Not saying that like, hey, touching kids is cool, hey, jerking out to child porn is cool. None of that at all. But like, we should probably have a safer environment for people to like out themselves, where they can like go and like seek out help and therapy and things like that.
That's not
whether that be-
destigmatizing, though. We shouldn't destigmatize it. We should provide help for people in those
stigmatized-
situations. We shouldn't destigmatize it at all. It's absolutely
Yeah, but-
disgusting.
When the primary
Yeah.
argument, whenever you hear pedophile is kill
Wait, you're
them,
misunderstanding what I'm
you
saying.
need to take some of the sting out of that if you expect someone to self-report and get help.
That's not destigmatizing the act, though.
Exactly.
That's
What do
saying
you
that
call
we
it?
shouldn't be
Wait, let me
we
look at
shouldn't
the
be murderers to people that haven't committed crimes. That's what that's saying. That has nothing to do with destigmatization. To me, at least. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
No,
know.
yeah,
I don't
Well,
know.
all right,
where-
so the word destigmatize. All right, so the word destigmatize means to remove associations of shame or disgrace from
Do you think you should be
What?
shameful if you?
Yeah.
Oh, you think they shouldn't be shamed? They should be proud.
So we're moving. All right. So if you had like if you had a bottle of wine, right?
No,
And
no,
after I
no,
moved half
no,
the
no.
wine out of the
I
bottle,
don't think we
Answer
can.
the
I
question.
still removed.
No,
right?
We all understand the landscape that we're on. Do you think that it should be shameful to have sexual attraction to kids? We don't need to go to the wine bottle, right? We're here.
Yeah,
I think
no
we
shit.
all understand the context.
But I believe they
No, I don't think
understand
you
it is
understand. What I'm
shameful, which is
saying-
why
No,
they
no,
have an
time out.
issue.
Wait,
Todd.
GSP, I don't think GSP understands it. What I'm saying is yes. What I'm saying is removing some of it does not mean remove all of it, right? Where
No, you just read the definition of destigmatized that you wanted to use.
I feel like this is not something we should be dying on. I feel like,
you're right.
We should have a social paradigm where we have let
wait.
come out and then.
Hold on, wait. I want to ask you succinctly, and I want to use the same definition that you read to me. Do you think we should remove the association of shame or disgrace for having a sexual attraction to kids? Yes or no?
On some level, we should remove some of it to because right now, what you're saying is correct. You want people to get therapy and to get meds for that attraction to children, right? But people won't report themselves if they feel like, okay, everyone wants me to fucking die in a hole. Don't
be hyperbolic. Don't be hyperbolic. The thing I'm specifically asking you about is
I don't think it's hyperbolic.
Hyperbolic from what I asked them. I'm not saying that there aren't people that say we should kill pedophiles, but we're not talking about that in this conversation. So,
but that's probably the majority.
Okay. So I just want to have a conversation with Todd.
That is a lot of the rhetoric that you see.
Yeah, for sure. But Todd, do you think that we should remove the shame of being sexually attracted to kids? You say yes. That's disgusting. Okay, cool.
That's not what he said. You see, I'm catching it in real time when you're doing it to others.
Say yes.
He say we should remove the shame, as in all of it, or did he make the argument that like we should do things that lead people to getting? No, I'm saying you didn't say that, Todd, but that's what Gambit just applied to you.
The shame that doesn't exist.
That's what the Gambit applied to.
Okay,
Gambit applied all of it.
So we're like splitting hairs on like definitions of like stigma, right? Like so like. The thing, okay, so I'm not going to speak for Taj. Taj can speak for himself here, right? But when people are having this discourse, it's about like how do we make it? So how do we create some sort of environment where people who need help, and there are people who need help, can come and get that help, right?
So children are safer.
So children will be safer overall. So I saw the situation. I've talked about this story before. I was watching the Atheist Experience, right? It's a YouTube show. It's great, like putting religious people in their place. Love it. But it's anyway. They were just having, it's religious focus. Some guy calls in, and like he has this like long not monologue, right? Talking about this issue that's having. And no one understands what the fuck the guy is talking about. Like, and he's just like slowly building up. He's like extremely emotionally distressed, but no one knows what the fuck he's talking about. And it takes like fucking 10 minutes, right? Maybe 15 minutes until finally we get out of him that this dude is attracted to children, right? And he's like, according to him, that he's never done it before, never touched anyone, and he absolutely does not want to, but he actually does have the urge, right? And he wants to get help, and he says that when he goes to a psychologist to talk to him, they throw him out of his office, right? And that's not what we want. I would hope we want these individuals.
You agree, right?
We want to create a world where these people are safe to come out, and then safe to find help at the very least. Okay, safe to find help. And that's what Taj was trying to do. At least that's what I believe he was trying to do. He was trying to say, I want to create that world where it's safe. Now he's using the term like destigmatize, right? Which I would agree with you, GSU, is probably not the word you want to use for this, right? We want to have.
But that's what we wanted him to admit. Like we can have 1,000 different conversations about, hey, I don't think people should be screaming kill pedophiles. That's nothing to do with destigmatization. So when I asked them specifically, do you think it should be shameful to have a sexual attraction to kids? When he says no, but we shouldn't talk about killing them, he's saying no to my question, but then he's talking about something that's completely unrelated, saying whether or not we should be very inflammatory.
I said we should remove.
There's no such thing as some of the shame. That doesn't exist. That doesn't make sense.
So, okay,
it's either shameful or not shameful.
So
it's either shameful.
I guess you think it's a binary. It's a 1 versus 0. I'm saying if we remove 20% of that. Then like,
When
then,
we
like, then
consider
people have,
something
like, the room
shameful
to
is
ask for help and seek
binary.
help.
There's no point fighting on this. I don't think there's any point fighting.
No,
I hear.
there's a point.
Wait,
No,
but
because
GSU doesn't understand. He's
No,
having this
so
in a
Josh-
GSU
binary.
doesn't understand. Yes, whether we consider something shameful is binary.
Wait, GSU, what do you think my stance on that is?
I think I don't think you have brains, but like that's what I think. But I think whether we consider something shameful or not is binary.
But he's saying, okay, I think he's trying
Wait,
to say
but
that
hold
there's
on.
a
So
spectrum.
you're displaying right now. You don't understand my stance.
There's a
No,
there's
no,
like
no.
Let me lay this out one more time.
Tosh, can I help real quick, please?
Fanatic,
Tosh,
please.
let me help real quick.
Wait, let me.
Just-
I got it.
okay,
Just-
all right. If you believe it, go ahead.
right.
Sorry.
All right, cool. All right, I'm saying that we should have an atmosphere where people have the resources and the opportunity to.
Did anybody say anything against that? No, nobody did. Everybody agreed. Did anybody on the panel disagree?
Wait. Let me finish. Wait, give me 20
Yeah,
seconds.
you're going to explain the whole
Go ahead,
thing
go
that's
ahead.
related to stigmatization.
Okay, so what I'm saying is
Why you don't have
Let
brains?
him go.
people should have the resources and the opportunity to out themselves. They have attraction to children and the minors. And in order to do that, because currently we don't have this, I don't believe we currently have this. In order to do that, we have to remove some of the stigma from at least outing yourself. And like, in order to do that, that is on some level destigmatizing. All right. So it's not a binary. It's like, okay, right now it's 100% stigma. How about it's just like 90% stigma?
Okay.
And that way people have the atmosphere where they can feel comfortable outing themselves, even seeking help without going on a fucking FBI list.
GSU.
Taz, you just repeated yourself. Here, let me help really quick, please. I promise you. Like, okay. So there's two different statements. One, whether or not we do have stigma, like whether or not something is stigmatized or not, is binary. Like that's just a factual statement. Either it is stigmatized or it is not. Now, there can be different degrees of stigmatization. Gambit, do you agree that there can be different degrees? For instance, would you look at a person who maybe stays out late at night against his wife's wishes, and that might be somewhat disrespectful, but you would say that maybe it's a different level of disrespect if a man was to cheat on his wife, right? And so then even though both of these things you might say are disrespectful, and the fact of whether or not something is disrespectful or not is binary, that there are different degrees to disrespect. In the same sense, you can have different degrees to stigmatization.
I don't, with looking at the definition of the word destigmatization, I don't think degrees exist there. And that's my problem. Like, we're coming to this conversation as if like whether we stigmatize something is true or false. Like, you can say that, yes, once we do stigmatize something, there are certain levels, but that's bypassing the conversation I feel like that he's trying to have. And that's what
I don't think so.
That's his
stigmatizing
entire
it to the
conversation.
point
where you understand.
No, hold on. I literally asked him, should there be shame? I asked him a binary question. He went to, we should destigmatize. So he can say, he could have said, yes, there should be shame, but we should shame them less. But no, that's not what he did.
He did say less.
I thought he did.
Yes.
I thought he did. I could be wrong.
Essentially, what it is, people need to understand this is a disease.
If I said remove,
It's not a choice.
I apologize if I said that. I did not mean that at all.
Do you think we should look at pedophilia as disgraceful and shameful?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I misunderstood you. Cool.
Okay.
We got there.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
So hold
I
on,
think
let's
it's
leave that
really
alone. Let's leave it alone.
people
Don't
are so
go any.
afraid to out themselves. Okay.
Okay, so I was going
Sorry,
to try.
I'm a scab picker. There's a scab I want to
Back
pick
to
at
the
it.
celebrity criminals.
I hear you. I'm one of those too, right? Like I gotta get Fanatic to admit that he's wrong. It just has to happen.
It just
It
just never happens.
You should see my
But okay,
Fanatic.
so R. Kelly.
But Fanatic, I wanted to engage with you, which is something you said previously, right? If I get anything wrong, then let me know. But
Sure.
you were talking about how, like people, if they're attracted to pedophiles, right, that they're always necessarily a threat, right? That is just inherent to it. I would argue against that only because, right, I make distinctions, right? So there is a group of individuals who are absolutely a threat, right? And there's like degrees of threat. There's people, well, first of all, who've already offended, right? You can assume they're going to offend again. You saw those motherfuckers like when in To Catch a Predator, where like they showed up at the house and then they got caught, and then they got released out of bail, and then they like caught them again at another location. Okay, that's a person, high threat. So there are other people who like have this urge. I've never acted on it, but just have the urge. I want to do this thing, right? Like the person I was talking about before. So that's a lower level of threat because they haven't done it, and they have a history of resisting. But you know, like I wouldn't want to leave my kids to that individual. But I think the issue is that people don't understand just how many child attracted individuals there are. People vastly underestimate like how big this circle is. So yes, there are people who are exclusively attracted to children, and have that urge to do something with them. But then there are also individuals who are attracted to, you know, people their age and all that. But when they see a kid, they have a tingle or whatever the fuck, right? I know it's distasteful, but like they have a tingle, or they're fine, or sure, but not. But okay, it matters. The degree actually matters here, because you can have, you can be, okay. Oh, God, I don't want to bring them up, but this is gonna be really bad. Some people are gonna yell at me for this, right? But there are bisexual people. I don't mean to compare you to these two, but I'm just using as an example. I'm sorry, but there are bisexual individuals. You talk to them, they're like, I'm not evenly split.
Men can be bisexual.
No, boy. They'll say I'm not evenly split between the two, right? Like I am maybe much more attracted to men, and I want to sleep with men, I want to marry men, I want to do all that. But when I see a woman, yeah, I that gets me hot under the collar, right? But like, will I actually do anything with them? No, right? And again, bisexuals are not the same as pedophiles. They're very clear. But yes, so that's why I'm trying to draw that distinction. There are people who feel the same way about that of children. So it's like, yeah, I think that's child is attractive, and they might fantasize. But those people aren't. You can, if you want to call them pedophiles, that's fine. That's fine. If you want to put them under that categorization. But I'm saying that under threat levels, these are people who will, like 99% of the time, not either offend and not even think about offending, and then focus almost pretty much all their sexual attention on people of age. So, like when I'm saying there's degrees, and saying that not everyone is necessarily a threat, that's what I'm talking about. Like this is a very deep issue, and there are some individuals, and there's just so many more people than I think you realize.
I remember that it's everywhere. But here's where the problem is, Prime. Like, yes, the reason why I'm saying that I still think that these people would be a threat is because, again, it's really, really, really difficult to be abstinent. Really, really difficult. As an abstinent Christian right now, it is really, really, really difficult to be abstinent, right?
You have a girlfriend?
And I do.
A lot of white.
We're waiting.
A lot of white wives you missing out on, bro.
100%. 100%.
Don't worry, I'm taking care of them for you. I got you, buddy. All right, so
100%. So I mean, but when you think about that and you start considering like what that is like. I mean, I've gone really long lengths of time with fully abstinent with full abstinence, and then you might have some mess ups and start running through some folks, and then you got to stop again. It's gross. My point being, knowing how difficult that is. I would say without some sort of impetus, like for me, it literally takes God, right? Like it takes me, my true entire being focused on a supernatural being giving me help to be able to be abstinent in that regard. So the idea that I'm expecting pedophiles who don't have that same God to sit there and try to like just in their own strength, I'm just not doing it.
You're saying all those Catholics that molest children don't have God?
Amazing. I don't think Catholics are Christian. Go ahead.
Oh God!
We're not getting to that.
We're not doing it. We're not doing it. That's another day.
Yo, fucking let's go.
Absolutely pedophiles.
Mask off.
Absolutely, there are Christian pedophiles. We know that, right? Christian predators. So I'm gonna leave it alone. Leave that alone. But like,
no, there are plenty. There are plenty. You're right of Christian predators, and I would say that, and in the same sense, I'm saying God is not a catch-all. It's not like, oh, listen, because of the fact that I have God, I may never have sex again until I'm married, right? Like I'm gonna try with literally all of my being. That's my goal. That's my ambition, right? It's a struggle. It's a struggle. So my point being,
God, I have sense of character.
Okay,
Use your
sure. My
character.
point being, so if we know that even people who are Christians who have like a higher calling, and we already know that like the moral values of Christians is slightly higher than that of the regular society, as
It's
we can tell
not.
by their as we can tell by their charitable giving, as we can tell by the food banks and all
We'll
those things, and
do
all
it
those things are like
later.
literally
Skip
Christian
past
foundation.
it. Let's
Point
go
being,
later.
I'm just saying, look, that we know already that Christians already have these higher moral
don't know that.
aspirations. Okay, we'll go with that.
We
Christians
don't.
have higher moral aspirations. That's why the divorce rate was lower in Christians, and so on and so forth. They've already been more based
Stop fucking tripping
conservative
me and
values.
just go,
So I'm
please.
gonna stop. I'm just saying, if we know Christians are failing in that regard, I don't know how these atheist pedophiles aren't going to be just out here raping kids day after day. Like, I'm
Okay.
saying, like, I don't know.
You're not going to put that on my people.
I want to finish this one
No,
point, and then I want
atheists
everyone to
are
jump
not
in.
based
Bam,
at all.
But I want to ask you a
All
question before you finish,
Okay.
Brian. I
Bam,
want to ask you a question before you finish.
No. I got it. Okay, fine. You can ask me that, and then we go to our friend Bam, and we'll open this up, right? But my point is that there are there's I believe, from my understanding, and maybe my understanding is incorrect, but from my understanding, a large segment of children attracted people, right, who are, like I had previously described, in that they're mostly attracted to people of their age, but they can see younger people as, you know, they can fantasize about a younger person. But those people that I'm talking about aren't abstinent. They are having sex, right? They're having sex with people of their age. Like I said, that is their main focus of their attention. But they could see the 12-year-old or something, like, hey, that 12-year-old looks hot, right? And they will never touch them or anything like that. And they're having sex like their entire lives with older people. So when we're talking about degrees of threat, that person who like has met your criteria of having sex, right, and not being abstinent, well, they don't have to worry about that because they're already in it. So that's what I want to say. So let's let Jishu go, and then Bam, and then anyone else wants to jump in.
Yeah, and like, this question is kind of why I felt the way I felt about Taj, where even though he was saying the word yes, the things that he was saying after that made me feel like he didn't truly believe in stigmatization. And I kind of feel that way with you, because you have a reluctance to call these people dangerous. And it seems like you're loading the word dangerous more than it actually is, right? So let's take COVID, for example. Yeah, for sure. Because it seems like you're unwilling to call this segment of people that you're outlining as dangerous. Are you? Like, you?
No,
hold on,
they are less dangerous than you were saying they are.
Well, so sorry. Hold on. Let me be specific. At the very start of my whole monologue here, right, which I do often, right? Shout out to me. But that's my whole monologue. I specifically like gave you a group that's extremely dangerous. That that will definitely reoffend, right? I'm simply giving a degree of danger. I think it's fair to say that the degree is zero. For a person, compared to a person who is not at all attracted to minors, right? And has never had the thought or anything. There are people like that, obviously. Those people, if they're zero, then a person who is even a little bit minor attracted would be more than zero. So if you want to call that danger, sure. But I'm just saying that's not.
I don't want you to use my definition of danger.
Okay.
I want you to articulate whether or not you think those people are dangerous.
Which group?
Like, in whatever the group that you think is the lowest threat. If somebody asks you, a person that belongs to that group, and they said, yo, that person is dangerous, would you feel like in yourself the answer to that is yes or no?
Answer would be no. Of the groups I'm talking about, the answer would be no.
That's my thing, and that's how I think y'all feel, and that's why when I say that y'all want to remove the stigmatization, that's why I like those people are dangerous for sure, regardless of, like, yes, you can say that the threat is smaller in relation to somebody that's like an active pedophile, but to me, those people are still dangerous.
So, like, there's two things I want to make. One, I want to tell you this, and then I'm probably, I guess we're at the end. I would move the conversation a little bit, but to I guess kind of not really backing up Prime. I'm just making my own point. I think that they're like, these things are pretty, like, the things we believe in are pretty cultural. Like, the reason why shame and stigmatization is actually important to Gabby's point is because the reason that people aren't acting on these things isn't because of some innate like ability to be right. It's because we've been told that it's wrong. It's because if you look back, if you look at other cultures around the world, if you look at even in American history, you go back 40, 50, 60 years, even when we're talking about Elvis and things, like people hear about like, oh yeah, the so and so married a young girl. She was 16, she was 15, she was 17, she was, whatever. And these things were seen as like, oh wow, youth is important. Wow, he's got a young hot girl. So the idea that like, oh, I could never be attracted to someone under 18. No, I believe people when they say that, but it's because you were taught, like it was like ingrained in you. It's not like a fact of the matter that
No.
you seen this. The reason why people who finish puberty at 16 and they look that same way at 19. It's not a physical thing. It's a society. It's a social thing. We've decided that like, you know what, this is what a child. But it doesn't mean that you're physically, like your brain's not able to like find attraction to someone.
All right. Hold on, Bam. Hold on. Let us give 10 seconds. He did it. He said something good. All right, let's cherish this moment. I agree with almost everything you said. I don't agree that back then, like that, it wasn't stigmatized in some way. But no, this is good. Yes, that is why stigmatization is important. Everything that Bam just said.
But that was why. So that's the thing of like why
you were right. Don't go too much further, man. You might mess it up.
Again,
you can't be better.
I promise y'all's opinion mean nothing to me.
That's the problem.
Actually, that's why I think why we say that, like, oh, there are probably some people who have some inkling, like, and you don't necessarily consider dangerous because they would never want to ruin their life. Like, it's like, oh yeah, I really like 20 and 30-year-old women, but who was it? Mac Main had the lyric, in about 3 years, holla at me, Miley Cyrus. Like, so
yeah, that was Mac Main.
So it happens, but the moving the conversation a little bit,
song.
But staying on the topic, I think that something that may be a little more particular to the Black community, as far as like celebrity things that we don't necessarily shame, is the idea of keeping it real with our music. Like it is some serious, like, it's some serious gun violence that happens in music that generally young people take a lot of pride in. Like, people thought it was so cool that TK was actually on the run from an actual murder case. When people find out that, like, oh, so and so's not a killer, he's false claiming, like, that seemed as a shame that, like, oh, they're lying in their music, they're not doing the things that they're saying about. People felt the same way about Lil Boosie, which if you're in the South, you know about Lil Boosie. He relate to a few murders, Gucci Mane, Young Jeezy. The list goes on. People take pride in the Black people in the Black community. There is some level of pride of like, oh wow, this person's really violent. This person's really doing the things that they're doing in the music, and that's probably due to the celebrity.
I don't think that same pride comes like when you start talking about like, yo, R. Kelly might have actually been raping kids. No one's sitting there like, yeah,
no,
bro,
not that,
like,
yeah. That's what I was saying. It was move the conversation to like a different, like something that is sort of more specific. Like, people are apologetic for the R. Kellys, but people like I heard people say it was cool when like, hey, Young Thug got locked up on a RICO charge because he really be doing this, but Young Thug got locked up for a RICO charge because he may potentially really be doing. That's not a good thing.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I think this is interesting, right? For the remaining time that we have, not much, but like the remaining time we have, I think there might be something interesting. Talking about like what conservatives say all the time, that Black music, or at least hip hop music, venerates people who like do crime, right? And so you will have these situations where a person like is about that life, right? They're from the suburbs talking about this shit. They rob people, they've killed people, they've hurt people, and then when the fan base finds out, you're just as Bam said, well, that person is keeping it real, right? Rather than saying, well, this is a disgusting individual who shouldn't be having a platform because of the things that they've done in the past, right? If we wouldn't like a person who was a rapist in, then why should we allow a murderer in? But we do that within the Black community. That's the thing that happens, right?
Sure. I would say that like, I think for people, most of the time, they're going to want their music to be somewhat reflective of their reality because they want to be able to identify with it. And so then when you find out that there's a whole bunch of people, because like, yes, like there's a lot of like negativity and violence and things like that in hip hop music, even though like a lot of that is, driven by white people, and the power and the record labels. I would say that like a lot of people like hip hop is supposed to be a reflection of reality, right? Like a lot of like R&B was similarly. And so for people, most of the time, once people start feeling like you have a bunch of culture vultures that jump onto something because of the fact that they know it's profitable, but they're not authentic, it feels repugnant, right? Because it's like you're not really like the thing that makes people appreciate the music from the people who are like like claiming whatever is because of the fact that it's like, oh, this person genuinely knows this struggle, like this is a genuine part of my life, and so then that's going to feel good. But then when you take that away and it's just like, no, this is just some person that's never like doesn't know anything about the struggle, know anything about this life, and this person is just doing this to make a dollar, that's going to feel inauthentic. It's going to feel gross.
Fanatic. I like E12, right? That old group. I'm actually a
From
big
Eminem?
fan. Yep.
Mhm.
I was a big fan of that group. They have songs talking about basically pimping women or exploiting them sexually, and go in great detail about that. Like, I am fine, and I prefer that none of them have ever done that before. I actually don't know the backgrounds. But like that, we don't apply that same level. At least I hope we don't. I don't apply that same level of authenticity when it comes to sex crimes, or maybe some people do.
Are they talking
because
about
like
sex
when it
crimes?
comes to
You said
Yeah.
exploiting women. What are you talking about? Because if you're talking about, because there's
Sure.
sexual exploitation that is not criminal, that is not necessarily problematic. Women are the gatekeepers of sex, and if men want sex, then they're going to have to try to get the sex from the women who are.
No, I
because
mean
of
like
society
actually pimping
stigma.
them out. I mean,
Okay, yeah, pimping is a whole nother. That's
yeah,
gross. Don't
and
do that.
there's like, but we have the PMP like
Wait.
a song by
Pimping people out is participating in our capitalist system, right?
and you would be for that. I know you would be. I know he's always looking for authenticity there, right? He's like, be a boss, be part of the bourgeoisie. But anyway, no. But you would agree with me.
Hold on,
that,
hold on.
like,
Hold on. Wait, this is important. Like, if there is anyone looking for work in chat, I'll drop my link. Okay, contact me and we'll get it started. No, go ahead, bro.
Oh, looking at that moment between Bam and his girlfriend. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Oh, we love to see it. We love to see it. But yeah, when it comes to sex crimes, I think we agree that we don't want that sort of authenticity
Sure.
there, right?
Of course.
Great.
Well, I
So
feel
then
like
why
you're
do we
talking
make that
about two
distinction
different
from murder,
genres.
What?
right? Why do we make
Oh, sure. I think it's terrible. I think it's terrible. I don't listen to nigga music like that. But I choose to listen to good, wholesome Christian music. I listen to some bad stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I had like guilty pleasures like Trap Queen by Fetty Wap. That was a guilty pleasure of mine. Or Some Type of Way. That was also a really good song. And I hate that I like these songs, but they're really, really good. I actually like Hot Nigga by Bobby Shmurda. That's gross. But yeah, I think we should like that stuff should carry a stigma with it. I think it's really, really gross. And I think because of the fact that the labels put so much energy behind making that music really, really popular, it resonates. You can try to say, oh no, this is what they wanted, but I don't believe so. Because if you look at the direction that hip hop was going, like it was actually highly political and very motivational music. Look at like some of the most successful artists of all time, like Tupac, hip hop artists of all time, like Tupac. Like a lot of his music was crazily inspirational until he ended up getting with Murder Inc. Right? So like it's not like black people don't have a taste for inspirational music. It's
Wait,
just,
Death Row?
I mean, I'm sorry, yeah, but Death Row.
But we
Death
love.
Row.
I have another point to make real quick.
Yeah, my bad.
I'm joking.
I was gonna say but black people love Who Shot You. They love the idea. They're like, oh yeah, Tupac really might have shot Biggie. Tupac really
Tupac
might
is
have.
trash. Jesus.
He's a cultural icon, but not really a great rapper.
I'm not engaging with that. I'm not engaging with either of those
Exactly.
statements. Both of y'all niggas is crazy.
Oh.
He wasn't the greatest rapper,
I
but
think that
hey,
music is.
When was he a bad? I'm not engaging that. I'm not engaging. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go on.
no, he
They
was
all
good at
made
one
me.
point.
He's
The deal
equivalent
is, Prime
to
is talking about two
2022
different
Bumble.
genres. You're talking about parody rap versus actual rap. So if you're putting Ice Cube pistol grip pump in my lap at all time versus D12 talking nonsense and Eminem talking nonsense, you already don't take them seriously. They're not about that life. You assume Ice Cube is about that life, which makes it something that's dangerous to the community.
Yeah, so I'm saying, shouldn't wouldn't it be better if we just had parody fucking rappers? So okay, all right. Well, let me hold on. I would say that it would be better if you actually lived that life and you're talking about how it was terrible. This is the struggles that I had to go through, and I made mistakes. Maybe I paid for those mistakes. All those things to disincentivize people. Like, this is the life I live. I slang dope, right? Like I was out there, and maybe I pimped, maybe I did all that that kind of nonsense. But that was a time before, and I'm so glad to get out of there. But that's not what we do. We have people who glorify it, right? This is what what we should. And if you're going to glorify it, I'd rather you never actually did it. Like,
sure,
I'd rather it be a parody.
21 Savage got roasted for a week. Like, literally just last week, 21 Savage said, "Hey, man, we got to put the guns down." And they was like, "I know that ain't who I think it is." Like, 21, for those who don't know, 21 Savage is a very
they was on his ass, man.
But they was getting on him because he was like, "Bro, it's just music. We got to put the guns down." And they was like, "Yeah, it was just bad." They was like, I don't know. He's got a bunch of violent lyrics. I love his music, but yeah, it was funny. But he was shamed for that. He was shamed for not living.
Talking about the guy from Great Britain.
Yeah, hear ye.
Yeah, I think so. That's that's a problem with again. It's hard to divorce this problem from the white influences that have caused it. But yeah, like when you look at it, it's like because of the fact that like this is the type of music that is successful. This is the type of music that the record labels will back. And when that's happening, then it makes all the sense in the world why people would like sell their souls and do this kind of music, right? I think my problem is that when we want to venerate it, we want to venerate individuals because we're like always having the white folks like shoved in our mouth, right? Shoved in our face, right? Like you look at like someone like
white folks in our mouths.
No, in our face.
That was a few weeks ago. For me.
Terrible
sentence.
Freudian slip.
Jesus. You look at like Adele, right? And it's like she's like kind of pushed as if she's like literally the best singer, right? And they would even go as far as disrespecting Beyonce and saying like, oh, well, of course Adele would win. Adele's a singer, Beyonce's not. Like when you have that kind of nonsense happening, that Carlos Santana said that. Like people were commenting.
Man lost his mind. He's amazing at the guitar, but like he must have lost his fucking mind. But go ahead.
Of course he did. Of course he did. It was absolutely disrespectful, right? But he made that statement, and so then it's like but we know like how far they go to try to insist that we drink the Kool-Aid and value white folks like we value the most talented niggas. And I think because of that, I think we have this need almost to venerate whoever it is that's successful, whoever it is that's whatever. And then on top of that, even beyond all that need, I feel like there is no denying R. Kelly is one of the most accomplished and talented musicians, songwriters, producers of all time, right? And I think it's really hard for some people to just not, to distance themselves from the fact that like, nigga, your hero was gross. It's just
it's like unfortunately, fanatic feels Michael Jackson. No, I want to go into it.
Michael Jackson is innocent. What the figure are we talking about?
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Taj.
Y'all can't be real. Oh, y'all don't drink that Kool-Aid. White people got to us all. See?
That nigga's a pedophile, bro. It's cool though. It's not cool.
I don't know. I
haven't seen the evidence. I don't think Michael Jackson is guilty, but then again, I haven't seen the evidence.
No one has seen the
Jackson's
evidence.
not guilty at all. Like
that nigga's a pedophile. It's cool.
No one has seen the evidence. Just to be clear, no one has seen the evidence because the only people whose job it was to investigate that, like they did everything they could. The FBI, remember when they were doing those unplanned raids to Michael Jackson's house? They were trying everything they could to catch this nigga. And despite all of their 10 pages of investigation and years of unplanned raids and all that kind of nonsense, and like people that actually like lied on him originally coming forward and saying like, nah, I was actually lying, that nigga didn't actually touch me. All of that.
Fanatic, would you let your kids go to Never Ever Ranch?
I probably
Exactly.
wouldn't. No. But hold on, just to be clear, I wouldn't do that because I'm like psycho about that kind of stuff. I'm not. I don't think I would even let my kids spend the night nowhere. Like my girl and I have spoken about that kind of stuff. I don't really believe in sleepovers, and it turns out that it's just everybody in our culture now because I think we all remember going to sleepovers and all sorts of nonsense happening, and trying to sleep with our friends' sisters and all kind of craziness. So because of that, like none of us are on that page. This isn't a me thing. This is a real common thing of niggas just being like, yo. I'm not doing sleepovers.
Yeah,
with my
that's
kids.
true.
But I'm not even talking
That's
about
true,
sleepover. I'm talking about just hey, the kids going to Michael's to play on the fucking trampoline park or whatever it was.
Yeah, but again, it's not because I don't trust Michael Jackson. It has nothing to do with that. It's just because I in general want my kids always by my side. I'm not, you know what I'm saying, playing around with that.
Okay, do you think anyone else is a bad parent for doing that?
If you had to think about degrees of threat, would you think? Well, I can't use Prime, but I'm joking, Prime. It's the leftist art. Would you think Smooth is as dangerous as Michael? Like, if you don't feel like there's anything, you would say, yeah, they generally do the same thing.
I don't view Michael Jackson as any more dangerous. Genuinely, I think there's zero evidence that he did anything remotely close to what we call
Jesus.
Literally zero evidence. There's no evidence whatsoever. So in order for me to like look at him as like, yo, you did something, like I would need something to base it on, and there's zero evidence that he did anything remotely close to anything.
So hold on, wait, right? Because we talked about the Bill Cosby thing, right? Like I think Bill Cosby is innocent due to the law, but like I still think he's potentially more dangerous. No, not maybe, yeah, maybe. So I think like it's possible that he did something wrong. I don't think there's anything to suggest legally he should be locked up. And I don't think those things have to match, right? Like,
oh, so when you say he did something wrong, you're talking about maybe possibly exploiting people by like dangling careers in front of their face in order to like cause them to want to sleep with them, so that way that
or possibly something worse. There's just no evidence to suggest it. So I can't be behind a legal system locking a nigga up with no evidence.
Right. So then why would I so if I have zero evidence to suggest that he did do anything wrong, why would I be even entertaining the idea that he's wrong?
So this is gonna be a long conversation. All right. When we tell Prime, yo Prime, you can't say 66 women said it, so we should lock him up. I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. When it's how am I personally thinking about a threat level of somebody, I would put that person in a different threat category solely because they have that many accusations. Whether or not I would convict them is different, but I would still place them at a higher level of threat.
Yeah, sure, but Michael Jackson only has like 3 accusations, and like the 3 people that came forward with those accusations we now know are false. So if it's only 3 people and all 3 of them are confirmed false, then it's just like, yeah, okay, I can move on. I'm not worried about that anymore.
He ain't babysitting my kids.
Let's.
That's all I'm saying.
Taj, you want to say something previously?
Dang, that man's still in the first conversation.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess he.
No, I think he's in the waiting room now.
Oh,
he's in waiting room.
Bring him back.
Bring
him back.
I don't know how long you've been
Bring him
there.
back.
And tell me, Taj, I don't know how long you were in that waiting room.
He put that in the chat. It was 2 minutes ago, though. I'm just saying he said add me back in.
I didn't see that in the group DM. I didn't see that
in the StreamYard.
Don't Taj, don't put anything in the. No one looks at that. I do not look at the private thing in the StreamYard. Like you put it.
I look at that. That's where the funniest comments happen. Okay.
Group DM is where you got.
I was doing like all the wild shit. I was like,
I didn't know what you were doing. I thought you were talking to an audience or something. I don't know
like that. Like, okay.
I don't think he heard you.
Taj, did you want to say something previously?
Yeah. So I was gonna say, like, with music, man, I don't want to put too strong of a standard of adherence to reality on that, because I feel like a lot of the time, a lot of that is just like it's art. The same way where I don't call George R.R. Martin a rapist for having a shitload of rape scenes in Game of Thrones. Like, I don't want Tyler the Creator to be called a rapist and saying rape the pregnant bitch till my friends had a threesome. Like, right? Like, I feel like that. Like, what I'm saying is art's art, okay? And let art be art.
But why would you need to put something so vile in your art? That sounds gross to me. Why would you do that?
Eminem does it too.
Well,
Having
I mean,
visions of
as
dead
George
pregnant
R. R.
women
Martin,
and
that-
gathering
That's why
worms.
Eminem is that's why Eminem is an absolutely terrible artist to me. I think he's gross. I never was a fan.
Really?
Okay.
Wow. I think
His
I think
bars
he's,
are
like,
solid.
multi-syllabic.
No, he
Yeah, I
didn't
like
have
him.
bars.
Yeah,
He didn't
fair.
have
I'm
bars.
not even a
As
big
I've said
middle-
before, look at any of Eminem's #1 songs, and then you tell me anything of substance he's talking about. I know the songs. I'm
What
Slim.
about Stan?
I'm
I'm
Stan
saying
by
his bar
Eminem.
structure.
Like what the freak is he talking about? Like
What?
Okay, all right. So
He
I
has
guess I'll-
bars.
Tam
You're out
Packs,
of
what
your
the freak are we
mind.
talking
You're
about?
out of your
Yeah,
mind.
what the frick does
Eminem
that
is one of the
mean?
greatest
Yeah.
of all
What
time.
about
What do you mean
Stan?
have
I know
bars?
that you guys can say that, but it's only because you guys are going to pay attention to the fact that he's saying silly jokes and nonsense in his
It's
rhymes.
not just
He
saying
didn't-
silly
because
jokes.
because of the fact that he didn't actually have the requirement of saying things of actual substance or value in his lyrics,
Wow.
that he gets to get away with it. He can rhyme all kinds of nonsense. Again, he can say
Wow.
stupid stuff like slap anthrax on that Tampax and run you down the runway because it's like you're not thinking about anything. But when you start talking about people like Jay-Z, people who actually have things to actually contribute, things that actually make any kind of sense, then now all of a sudden there's a bar here. Now it's trying to find something of substance to say while doing the rhyming. That's what matters. So
We are
he's
going to
doing
have
all
to
these
fight.
alliterations in the songs like Minority Report. It starts making all of a sudden sense. Poor kids, just because they were poor kids. It's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Wouldn't you loot if you didn't have loot? And the president came just to get a scoop, but he didn't scoop you. You're hearing all of these like double uses of words and all this cleverness in his bars, but he's actually saying something of substance, then that matters. But when you got Eminem that's literally just saying nonsense, Christina Aguilera better switch me chair so I can find out who she gave head to first and gave that VD and all this. It's literally not
That
saying
was
anything
his.
about you.
I would
Man,
say
you
maybe
like
in his
To Pimp a
original
Butterfly?
original work, but in later on, he definitely was.
Yeah, I think To
had
Pimp a
more-
Butterfly is one of the best albums ever created.
Yo,
It's
I
one
thought you
of.
was gonna say.
Fanatic,
I thought
Fanatic,
that was
fire.
check the group DM.
Of course, because I know how your brain works anyways.
No,
But go ahead,
I
Fanatic.
just think I just don't like Kendrick.
Fanatic, check the group DM.
But
Those
Eminem is
his
probably
bars.
the second best.
It's freaking
Eminem's probably the
bars.
second best. Like metaphor and simile creator. Like in
Wait.
rap
Is
all
that an
time.
actual bar? Is that an actual bar? I don't think it is, but it could be. So, I can easily hear that nigga saying that. Tell me to say Eminem. Grapple and scapula. Macapula actually pap smears or tactical
He is bars. Even you saying it is bars. It's such good bars that
That's
you
literally
saying
Eminem.
it's
That's an actual bar. No, that's an actual bar. Not for sure.
It
No, I'm
might
looking
be.
it up. Yeah, I can see
It
that.
might be.
Hold on. Let me see. No,
Yo,
that's
somebody sent me that meme and I lost my mind, dog.
Sorry,
This dude
you were saying
literally
something. Bam, you were saying something.
Oh, I was saying that. I was saying just. Well, this is just a music conversation. I think Eminem is probably the second best, like, best rapper of all time from a metaphor simile perspective.
No.
But I would prefer.
You're right. You're right, Kai. He's #1. Go ahead.
Ooh,
Bam.
I'll fight all of you for this.
Bam.
No, yeah, like I said, yeah, I think Lil Wayne's better in that regard, but that's probably also a generational thing because I grew up on Lil Wayne. But my favorite rapper is still my favorite musical artist is still Outkast, followed by Kanye.
Y'all niggas are so wrong.
Andre is hard.
Like Lupe's
You're
better than both
discounting
of them. Like Lil
Big
Wayne,
Pun.
Eminem, Lupe's better.
Biggie
better, not better.
Smalls.
Yo, this meme is
Hey,
actually
hey,
tier
what do you-
one.
What do you guys think of the lyric that by Biggie called in the song called "What's Beef," where Biggie says, "Don't they know my nigga Gutter kidnap fucking kids? Fuck him in the ass, throw him off the bridge. That's the actual Biggie lyric. What's
That sounds
everybody's
awful.
thoughts?
sounds
That's
awful.
terrible.
Biggie
man.
was a great storyteller.
That's very terrible.
Yeah.
That sounds absolutely
He wasn't.
terrible.
I'm
I-
sorry. There's no benefit in
That's an
that.
actual Biggie lyric, bro. Don't they know my nigga Gutter fucking kidnap kids, fuck him in the ass, throw him off the bridge? What's beef?
I
And
hope
like
they
that's
wouldn't
like
actually
that's
do
Hey,
that.
IL, is that a real lyric? Is that a real lyric?
Yeah, from
Yeah.
Rap God.
That's an actual
It's
lyric. Look it up.
hippity,
No, that's a
That's
fucking
a
Biggie lyric.
Biggie line, bro.
No.
That's a Biggie
This nigga
lyric.
hit
I'm talking about in the group chat.
Flippity dippity hippity hip hop. You don't really want to get into a pissing match with this rapidy brat packing a mac in the back of the yak. Backpack rap crap yap yap yakety yak. That's a real bar. Don't talk to me about that nigga. That nigga's trash. I'm not even entertaining this.
That's Rap
nigga's
God.
trash.
That's Rap God.
It almost sounded hard when you said
This is one of the best songs of all time. That
It's
can't be.
hilarious that even when you spit it, it's still
This is
dope.
trash. This is trash. I'm not entertaining this.
Excuse you. No,
This is real.
don't worry.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I think
Got
there's
you another
something
one.
fictitious to rap lyrics that I think adds power and like to the entertainment value of rap lyrics. I'm in a happy relationship, but I love the song Derek Jeter by Comethazine, where it's like, sing a life for me because I love to be a cheater. I fucking love that bar for some reason. I think that's just fucking amazing and hilarious to me.
Yeah, because it's touching something deep inside
like,
we know. But
It's imagery. Dude's painting
Man,
an
I
image.
just found out one of
So
my.
when
We know.
Eminem said,
We know.
"Well, I sit in padded rooms doing shrooms, having visions
don't
of dead
smoke
pregnant
weed,
women
but I
with
love
brooms
weed
strapped in their
bars.
wombs."
Like,
I'm gonna say this right now. If Eminem was a black artist, nobody would be giving that nigga a second thought. Point blank. Period. We hold black people to a definite higher standard. We'd be looking at it like this nigga's not saying anything of actual value.
No,
That
it's
I
a different issue.
with modern,
So I spit way faster than that nigga, and he always had nigga. Yeah, I can't. I'm not.
No, the
I'm
issue
sorry.
is that white
I wish that
artists-
was the
I
case.
agree.
Fanatic, I absolutely wish that was the case. But like, I'm looking at the music landscape, and a lot of fucking black rappers are saying nonsense, right?
No. I'm
Nothing
sorry.
comes
At the
out.
time, okay, because like, yes, obviously, rap has been dumbed down to mumble nonsense. Designer got away with freaking "I got bras in
Disagree.
Atlanta." What the freak was that song about? But again, if you look back at that era, show me someone during Eminem's era that's comparable. That's a black artist that was just as successful, or even close to as successful. Show me any artist that was as substance-less as Eminem back in like '97. Show me that. It doesn't exist.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff.
Show me that. I'm back.
MC Hammer.
Got them.
Name one in '97,
MC
please.
Hammer's like what?
Hammer, yes,
MC Hammer. Wait,
was
I'm sorry,
Crash
Taj. I'm sorry. MC Hammer was like 89.
1980s.
89. Again, I'm talking about in the '97, right? Because you can go back and look at like terrible rappers like Eazy-E. You can do that. That's fine. Okay, but I'm talking about in the 90s.
Lil Wayne.
Hip hop was started like picking up when people were actually putting more substance and more ideas behind the lyricism of artists. Show me an artist during that time. Show me any. Name one.
Master P and the entire crew.
You would say
Lil
Master P was
Wayne.
on the same caliber as Eminem as far as substanceless?
No, I'm saying he's trash.
Okay,
He
I'm not
was
saying that he's
completely
trash.
substanceless.
Again, I choose my words very carefully.
There was
I'm a
no
very eloquent
substance
nigga.
there.
Show. Are you okay? So you're saying he was substanceless?
What is the substance of wobbly wobbly wop?
Of that individual song, probably there isn't any. But again, look at literally. Because we can look at literally every single one of Eminem's songs, right?
Wait,
Again, if
Fanatic,
you look
also,
at freaking
why are you
the real
focusing
Slim
in
Shady, that was
between the years of
obviously
2000 and 2005?
Busta Rhymes.
Why are you hyper focused on that?
So you said Busta Rhymes never
what
rapped about
calls
anything?
How to rap?
The reason why,
and there are
sure,
lyrical
the reason
pieces on
why,
that
the
book
reason why is because
that say that lyrics are secondary to flow.
The reason why is because specifically, if we want, like nowadays, obviously rap has degraded into complete nonsense. Niggas aren't rapping about anything. There's plenty of people that are literally just saying complete nonsense. Designer actually has the ability to actually rap coherently, but he literally recognized that it was not going to get him successful. So then he literally started doing the mumble nonsense and got a #1 song, right? Saying absolute nonsense. Half of his, not half. His entire persona was complete, and I know it's gotten worse since then. Well, his entire persona was fabricated, right? Like where he's doing doing all the nonsense and not saying anything of value. That's all fabricated. That's not a real thing. He's literally putting on a show because he recognizes that kind of stupidity is what gets him successful. So, yes, obviously that's the times now. But I'm saying back then in the '90s, that wasn't the time. Back then, you didn't have people like Eminem, besides Eminem, like that are literally saying absolutely nonsense. And again, I'm talking about all of his singles. All of them. He was just completely saying nonsense.
I'm agreeing with
you. He was talking about his
Fanatic.
mom.
Like, it's all about flow. It's about, like, rap started as a party type of music. It's not about the message you send about, like, fucking consciousness and all that shit. I don't think that's what you're saying. But, like, the rap music started as party music. It's all about flow. It's about the energy.
Maybe like the first two songs, but then it very, very quickly developed into things that were about poetry and about, like, actual lyricism and talking about real things. When you start talking about, like, back in the day when NWA, when they were rapping, what were they talking about? They actually had substance, right? The song F the Police had been trending. Why? Because of the fact that like that was like a thing that black people were actually dealing with. Hip hop used to be when it's like literally started taking off. It was a reflection of black culture. It was literally people articulating through their lyrics things that we were actually experiencing. Eminem literally changed that for himself. And again,
No.
I can't. I wish you could show me other people at the time.
I
that were
will.
doing it.
Busta Rhymes, Ludacris, Outkast.
Fanatic.
You guys
Where
weren't
did Rapper
rapping.
from?
They weren't
Let me
talking
find you
about
some Busta.
fucking
Where did Rapper
anything,
from
right?
Fanatic?
And then,
Outkast
but here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Like you might be able to find a song where they do that, but I
Like,
can
no, I'm
also
talking
show
about
you
the
an
lead
Eminem.
singles.
I can also talking about. I'm talking about singles. I'm talking about Eminem songs. Like he absolutely did have substance, talking about like child abuse,
Stan was
right?
really good.
Child abuse and child neglect. How he had to go through that. How that's the thing. Like he had to overcome. Or getting beat up, like being white in the neighborhood they just grew up in, and how tough that was for him. He was talking about his life. His life is different from other people's lives. Those are the songs that had substance. And then he had a lot of fun songs that just grabbed a lot of fucking attention. So yeah, he had all of those things.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and look at
like the
Busta
fun
Rhymes'
songs
biggest
grab
songs
attention.
and see what he was talking about. My problem is when it comes to specifically Eminem, it was his singles, right?
Ooh,
So
Coolio,
like his
too.
very first one, what was it? Hi, my name is, right? Like that
What
song,
about Stan?
literally. Hold on. My name is. Did he say anything of substance in that entire song? That was his very first single. Did he say anything of substance in that
Who
entire song?
cares? That's not the
Did he?
standard that I'm. That's
Okay.
not the
I'm not lying
standard.
to
I'm sorry. That's
I'm
been
sorry.
my argument this entire time. That's been my argument this entire time. So now, okay,
no,
I'm
hold on.
sorry.
That
If
wasn't
you're
your
gonna
argument.
argue
That
against
wasn't your
something else,
argument.
I've
That it
been
was that one
saying-
song.
I've said
Excuse me.
multiple times Eminem singles. I said from the
I've been
very
talking
beginning,
about his singles.
his
I've been
lead
talking
singles.
What about Toy
about
Soldiers?
his singles.
I did mention specifically his lead singles. That's what I said
I've
from the
been
very
talking
beginning. That's
about his
been my
singles.
argument. I don't need to yell or
I've
raise
been
my
talking
voice.
about his
Anyone who's
singles.
been listening about
I've been
that, they can
talking
hear
about
what I'm
his
talking
singles.
about. So again,
Oh, all of a sudden you'll have
that's what
all
we're
of a
going
sudden
through.
Fanatic doesn't have
That's
to
why
raise his
we're
fucking
going through
voice.
them. So number one,
Amazing.
Taj, I was asking a question, and Eminem's very first lead single.
We don't have to
we're
curse
going
as
through that one.
rappers, but I do. So fuck him and
hey,
fuck you too. Look,
Hey, Taj, in Eminem's very first lead single, did he have any substance? In Hi, My Name Is, was there any substance in Eminem's first single? Yes
No.
or no?
Yeah, there was lots of substance.
Yes,
I
there was
don't
lots
know
of
about
Okay,
that.
we can't have the argument. I got it. You're right. There was lots of
Some,
substance.
I was
Who are you talking about, bullying?
some great movies are focused on
But he
absurdity.
focuses on the
If
first
someone
one.
makes a song that's
It's
But he
not
had
just the
plenty
first
of
one.
other
Do we need to go to the
singles.
second one? What was the second one?
Yeah, plenty of the singles that
What was the second one?
Fanatic, can I get
Do
with
we
you
go
on
to
a
the
different
first?
issue?
So if I was gonna go through Eminem,
Fanatic, can I get with you on a different
right?
issue? And this
They
is
would
What's
something
that?
that
just don't
I
give a
think
fuck
you'll
that my
agree with
name
me
is,
on.
Then Roma
Sure.
was like, all right.
Well, I hope.
It's that for the most part, when artists come out, only white artists and very rarely black artists get played on stations like K-Rock or other white stations to get the exposure that Eminem would have had. He was played cross-platform, whereas any conscious music or good music that would have come out from black people wouldn't have got played on those same platforms.
Sure. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation about like his whiteness being advantageous for his success.
So
I was just
the
simply
only one to
referring
make
to the
that great
garbage
was
lyrics.
Andre.
Hold on. Making sure that we bring it back home. I just want to point out again. Now, when you have this nigga R. Kelly making literally some of the best bangers of all time, Your Body Is Calling is literally one of the greatest songs of all time, in my opinion. Obviously,
That's
I'm Your
substance.
Angel. I'm Your Angel, when he would like the song with like Celine Dion and like just all of his writing and stuff. That nigga was one of the best. And again, it's not just him as an artist, it's him as a producer and him as a writer, right? Because he wrote all sorts of crazy songs. So he wrote How Could an Angel Break My Heart for freaking Tony Braxton, right? He wrote huge songs, right? So like that's what makes R. Kelly so good. So then when you have like that, I think again, when black people already feel like it's impossible for any person of substance within the black community to die well, right? You see they're launching campaigns to take down Muhammad Ali. They launched them to take down Michael Jackson. They launched them to take down obviously Bill Cosby, right? Like you see like a constant thing that somebody
MLK.
said. MLK, right? Like, and they're like trying to, they do everything they can to demonize the image of every black
Oh,
person.
I hate that MLK
You will
shit
see,
so much. That
you
shit
will
pisses me
see the
off
way
so
that they
much.
treat Martin Luther King. I mean, you will see the way that they treat I just forgot what I was gonna say. When he died. Oh, you'll see the way they treat George W.
Malcolm
Bush
X?
when he dies. No, George W. Bush. They're already working on the campaign now to humanize that person, right?
For sure.
You got Ellen DeGeneres, and all those kind of people sitting with them and like having these interviews and like, oh no, he's still a human being, doing everything they can to humanize this man. Black people don't get that same thing. They try everything they can to demonize every black person on the way out.
So
He actually chills
sorry,
with
I gotta
Democratic
say,
presidents.
The Way I Am, published 2000. He came out in 1998 is when he started, but he actually would blow up in 1999. But The Way I Am, Stan, cleaning out my closet, right?
Wait, Wait. We're not talking about songs of substance, right?
Because
Clean Not My Closet.
We are talking about songs.
Listen, the way I am in Clean Not My Closet, I fell in love with Eminem because of Clean Out My Closet. I was pissed at my mom, and he released Clean Out My Closet, and all my anger at her went into that song. So that song is stupid. Like there's not substance at all.
No. Sorry, no. He literally had to suffer child abuse and child neglect. So maybe for you, it wasn't actually substantive, and then you were just having a regular temper tantrum. But like he actually suffered serious child neglect from his mother. So for him,
but he didn't express that in a lyrical way in that song.
Your argument is helping Prime's
argument. Out my closet. It's literally the argument. It's literally an emotional piece. It was a piece to his mother. Like
he talked about his mom doing. He talked about having whatever the syndrome is, start with an M. He talked about his mom popping pills, but he didn't give some deep lyrical take. Like
it
was. I'm looking at the way I am right now, bro. What the hell are we talking about? Look at the first. I sit back with this pack of zigzags and this bag of this weed. It gives me the stuff needed to be the most meanest MC on this earth.
And they talk about Maryland and the heroin. Where were the parents at? And look where it's at. It's middle America.
That you interrupted me. So I'm sorry. I was going to go through the entire first verse to demonstrate that there was zero substance there, and then I was going to go into the second verse and demonstrate. I'm sorry. That what you just said wasn't from the first verse. So again,
I know it wasn't from the first verse. I'm like skipping past that.
I don't know why I'm raising my voice because I'm not going to just let you talk over me and get from my point. I'm not going to sit and waste my energy reading this to you guys.
You don't have to.
I got you. Just look up the lyrics to The Way I Am, and you look up the lyrics to The Way I Am, and then you go through that song and tell me there's some actual substance. And I want you to contrast that with a song like Minority Report by Jay-Z. I think it's a completely beautiful song. And then you'll understand what the hell actual substance is, and you find me anything remotely close to comparable to that one song on Eminem's entire discography. I rest my case.
All right, so he lost. Great. So anyway,
I feel like you're being dishonest right now.
We're like way over time. We're like way over time.
Yeah.
As soon as we got to hip hop, it was over.
Yeah, we had a whole thing. Yeah.
Free Kelly on the RICO charges, and then burn that nigga over the child rape charges.
I gotta call my nigga Michael Susi. Oh my gosh.
Some people we gotta run. Right? It's cool. So anyway, thank you all for coming through. We are going to continue on for Open Welcome panel after this, where anyone here can join us. Right? Any one of you out there can be a part of this. We'd love to have you. But before that, hit that follow button. If you're new here, you just jumped in, hit that follow button, make sure notifications are on so you know I'm going live, right? Exclamation point social and chat for our social media. We have Twitter, where we tweet things, Discord, where everything happens, including the Open Walk-On panel. It's going to happen right after this, so you want to be a part of it, or other conversations, right? On or offline, be a part of our Discord. TikTok, and we have YouTube, where we have a full box. If you missed anything, go to YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. All that stuff is important, right? Consider becoming a YouTube member, helping us out that way. It's a big help. Okay, so we are going to give an outro to all these individuals, but remember, the content doesn't end. We still have more content right after this, so stick around. No need to go anywhere. All right, we'll go with we'll start with our friend Bam. Bam, thank you for coming through. Bam, this has been another rough week for you, my man. I like you a lot, Bam.
Bam's a shit.
I promise, I am good. Like I said, the conversations can be what they are. People are like, oh my goodness, Bam was so dumb. But then we step out into the real world, and everyone knows I was right. No, like I said, fun conversation, not fun conversation. I already had an expectation whenever I looked. Whenever you like invite me, I'm like, let me check the list, and I'm like, know what type of week it's gonna be. And it's like it's a little, it's something in the air. Like honestly, the only thing that could have made this worse was Pace. Thankfully, maybe he was busy. I'm not sure. Thank God. But I knew I can. It's smooth face. Gambit. I don't know. Gambit's questions. Fanatics volume. This like is the perfect. This is like Chemical X mixing together to create like a cyclone of disaster. But
there's
I
no
love
Powerpuff.
Yeah, you're right. But
if 4/5 of the panel has a problem, is you.
It's not true. Eight people can be wrong, incorrect, and y'all do it all the time.
Nah.
Well, thank you,
You
my
bugging with
man.
the wrong stuff, but it's all good.
Bam's a great one, and we value him here. Let me not speak for everyone too. I value Bam. That's why I keep hitting this man back up time and time again. So thank you, Bam. All right. Another person who I value, right? Sometimes I think it's questionable about the rest of us, but Fanatic, thank you for coming through and being as lively as you always are, friend. And of course, you know I mean that sincerely. Yeah, tell a little bit about yourself.
All right, I'm the realest nigga on this panel. No, I'm kidding. Hey, look, I'm all here for the laughs and the games and it's fun and all that stuff. Bam be wrong sometimes, but ultimately, you got to realize he's a real nigga for being able to sit here and be wrong like that in the face of a whole bunch of niggas telling him he's wrong and then hold that and just be like, yo, like, I mean, I didn't really hear it well, but I'm pretty sure he did actually admit he was wrong, and I think that's cool. Like the fact that he could, because I know some people that would literally never under a bill, and it didn't matter how much you try to prove it to them, they just wouldn't. But I think this one was so easy because it was so obvious that he like skipped past the whole beginning of the page and was just not reading it, but even though we were prompting him to. But ultimately, he's a really good guy. Trust me, especially in real life. So anyway, listen, you guys can follow me at twitch.tv/MrFanatic. You can follow my music under the name Fanatic. Now, I always tell people to look up my music, but they don't actually do it. It's not that hard. It's free. It's on Spotify. It's on any platform. You're an Apple Music nigga. You're an iTunes nigga. One of those weirdos. Go ahead and just open up your iTunes and look up the name Fanatic, Fanatiq, and look at my albums. I think they're actually pretty good. I've never had anybody really tell me my albums are trash because they're not trash. Even the people that hate me be like, yo, I hate this nigga, but his music is real. You know what I'm saying? So give it a listen. Enhance your life. We always talk about all the trash, and this is something that should cut through the noise. And I'm the realest nigga. I know the most about black issues because I am that nigga. I read more than everybody else, probably because I don't have a life. And my girlfriend's trying to take that away, take all that freedom away from me and make me not be able to do all the stuff that I want to do and just be in these debate topics and reading stuff and just looking online. And I'm going to have to start living real life and all this craziness. Who knows? But I'm saying, while you got me, appreciate me. Hit the subscribe button on my stream. Hit the follow button on my stream. Look at my YouTube content. I'm the realest nigga, and I'm willing to debate any topic. And I'm pretty decent in one-on-one conversations, unless you're completely retarded, because then after that, I might lose my patience.
Oh, wait.
There's no one like Fanatic. I think we can all agree. There's no one here like Fanatic. A singular existence, all right? So thank you, my friend. And of course, it's always sincere for me. All right, let's go to Waterkai. Waterkai, thank you for being here. Thanks for being a part of this. You're a great addition to this channel. Tell a little about yourself.
Thank you. I'm just starting streaming on Twitch, Sleepy Waterkai channel. Anybody's welcome to hop in. I'm happy to have conversations with anyone. I thrive better in conversations, and I like to learn. But I want to say I thank Prime for creating this platform and giving a voice to everyone that's willing to get on and say something. It is an amazing opportunity, and I want to thank Bam for being 100%. That was greatness.
Thank you. All right. Yeah, more kudos to my man Bam. All right, let's go to Smooth. Smooth. Thank you all for coming through. Right. Are you actually home? I didn't even.
Yeah. I'm actually home.
He's actually
I know,
home.
This is crazy.
What?
Actually in
Was
my
someone
crib.
living there? Was someone squatting in your house?
No. Although I've dealt with that issue before. No.
Oh shit. Oh fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
That
right.
was rough.
Okay.
That was rough. Had to negotiate. My release. Well, her vacation. Her leaving my crib. But anyway, needless to say, hi, I'm Smooth. You can check me out on Homeroom with Smooth. I have a podcast. I have a YouTube channel. I stream on Twitch. I play video games, all that other stuff. You can also check out an interview of this guy right here, PrimeCayes, that's on my channel as well. You can make sure you check him out. This Smooth ain't got no home YouTube. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. The Twitch chat is stupid. But anyway, I'm just glad to be here, man. I enjoy these. Anytime I miss, I'm like upset with myself because I truly enjoy having these conversations. I feel like I've been getting better at debating and not making myself like look like a freaking moron. But either way it goes, I'm appreciative to all you guys, and yeah, I love doing this.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
thank you. Off to Isle. Al, thanks also for stopping by and being part of this, jumping in. We love people jumping into the Lion's Den.
Thank you. I'm sorry about the disturbance. For some reason, people just like to do drag races on the street across from me, and it's annoying. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I really enjoyed the panel. I thought it was really great. It's really nice to have a discussion about certain topics, especially these topics. They were good. Music and culture and things of that nature. I can be found on DeviantArt. I can be found on Pixiv. I'll tell you how to find me. That's your mission if you choose to accept it. You know what? Support people who are making some good video games. Like support Saints Row. Buy it. I'm gonna be watching it.
All right. Thanks so much. Let's go to Taj. Taj, thank you for coming through. Taj is a busy dude. But he made time, jumped on right after his work, right? He ran over here to be a part of this, and we do appreciate that. Shout out to Taj, especially this was a bit of a rougher one for him than usual, but thank you so much.
Oh yeah, sorry about the Wi-Fi issues. Hey, my name's Taj Bin John, Taji Politics, Bars and Joysticks. Thanks so much for having me on. I have a few things to say about the topics. About the Asian hate crime bill one more time. Hey, Asian hate crimes went up twice as many after the China virus thing blew off. There's a mass shooting at an Asian store on March 16th, 2021. And after that, the anti-Asian hate crime bill was born from all the popularity of stopping Asian hate. Yes, and also I just want to say fuck R. Kelly, and listen to more hip hop. Everybody, check out Comethazine, check out Tyler Creator, check out the notorious B.I.G. who had a friend named Gutter who fucked kids and threw him off the bridge.
Wow.
So
wait, what?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
that was
that
that was a biggie lyric. He was like, I got a nigga named Gutter who fucking kidnaps kids, fuck him in the ass, and throw him all over the bridge. That was a biggie lyric. Off of What's Beef.
How much from Eminem?
Hey Taj, really quick, I have a quick question for you just regarding that. If there was three anti-Asian attacks every year, and after the COVID thing, it jumped from 3 to 9, but there were 800 3,000 anti-black attacks, and it just stayed the same. Do you think that it going from 3 to 9 would warrant them deciding to create a movement around anti-Asian hate?
The movement was already made. The sentiment was already made, and I think that it's unfortunate. This is something that's unfortunate.
Wait, no. Engage with my hypothetical. Engage with my hypothetical.
I'm about to say something. Yeah, I'm engaging your hypothetical. What I'm saying is it's very fucking unfortunate, but popularity in politics is not based on reality.
Okay, I got you. Would that make sense to you?
Had reparations.
Would that make sense to you?
That
is the question.
It does
to you personally. I'm asking you. I'm not asking you how other idiots work. I'm not asking about the politisphere. I'm asking you. Do you think if the Asian attacks went from 3 to 9, which is obviously a three, what is that? A 300%?
300, yeah.
Right. And if the
black
ones stayed at 3,
yeah.
Right, I got you. And the black ones stayed at 3,000 every year. Do you think it would be fair or reasonable to start a movement around Asian hate crimes with those numbers?
No, it wouldn't be.
Okay. All right. So then you agree that going from 2% to 4% doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay. As long as we agree that the Stop Asian Hate doesn't make sense, we're cool.
Yeah, it's not amazing. But it's something that's politically. It's politically. Wait. Fuck damn, it's my turn.
He beat you.
I think that's politically popular.
Todd, where can we find you, bro?
Yeah. You can find me on YouTube. Taji Politics is a very new video of me getting yelled at by Nazis, literal fucking Nazis.
Link.
Me against the fucking world in Tampa, Florida. Oh yeah, I can. You want me to link in the chat?
In the chat.
Yes.
Yes. We want to see that.
I need that.
I'll link it in the chat. Yeah. No, they call me the Igger word and everything, Igan and all that. So that's
really.
Oh what?
I do in
Oh
response.
yeah, drop that
Yeah,
link.
Bro,
okay.
they're fucking Nazis, dog. Of course.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
still up
All
in
right,
their face.
this we gotta get out of here.
It got 3.2 million views, and I got no credit for it. All right, so anyway,
You gotta get
Trust
watched
me.
by Nazis for
Thank you so much.
3.2 million views. I hope not. That's terrible. I gotta watch. Please send it.
I was waiting on them to swing on me so I could swing back, but none of them swing on me. They're just saying the N word.
Oh, I was talking about Washington conversation. I didn't know y'all about to fight. I didn't know y'all didn't fight if they called you nigga, but okay.
That was there.
Not that I condone violence. I don't think that's the proper way.
Okay,
handle those.
Gambit, it's your turn.
They first in the state of Florida. They got to stand your ground law over there.
GSU Gambit, thank you for coming through. Another busy individual, right? Like he got a lot of things going on in his past, in his present. But he still makes time for us. Shout out to my man GSU Gambit. Take it away.
Yeah, I am very happy that I can make it today. I was a little late, but I'm happy I can make it. I do got to come clean about something. For a large portion of my life, I would always say Eminem is the top 5 rap artist of all time. And I made the mistake of, instead of like resting in my like nostalgia for like 8 Mile, the 8 Mile song, Lose Yourself, I actually went back and listened to some of his music. And now I'm terrified because I had to stop listening to him because I was going to have to take him out of my top 5. So that's how I feel about that. But anyway, happy to be here. It's not always that I can make it. So today was particularly exciting. Shout out to Bam for being right twice today. I think that's probably never happened in the history of this panel. So no, shout out to you, bro.
Okay, all right.
Oh, I
Well,
meant to give you a shout out earlier, GSU, because I watched the White Grievance panel and you were fucking fantastic.
Cool. Appreciate it.
I respect your performance.
So, okay. So, thank you all. Glad that we're having some sort of love at the end of this. Holy shit. We are going to continue on our Open Walk On panel. Hopefully, some of you guys come through. We'll love to have some of you come through. Maybe Fanatic, Gambit, anyone else here, could just come through, right?
It's possible.
I know you got to eat, Fanatic, right? Like I already know. You don't have to say. But yeah, come on through. We'll have a good time. But anyway, thanks all so much. We're all to Open Walk On panel. Anyone here can join us, but if not, that's okay. Thanks for spending your time, your energy, your knowledge, and your passion with my community. I know they appreciate it just as much as I do. Okay, bye. Holy shit.
Peace.
Okay. All right. Give me a second.